Hey, this is Ray from the Rocky Mountain Mouse, and today I'm going to be talking about my first Disney cruise. And not only was it my first Disney cruise, but it was my first cruise ever, so this is going to be from the ground up from someone who has never experienced a cruise before. Originally, I was going to set this up as a daily travel vlog, but after 2 hours on the ship, I realized I was more concerned about the camera than I was about absorbing the magic that was the cruise before me. So I didn't get as much footage on the cruise ship as I would have liked. However, on future cruises, and there will be future cruises, I will get more of the knickknacks and the little corners and all of the interesting things that happen on the cruise ship and present it in a different format. Instead, what I'm going to do is break this up into categories and kind of walk through what it was as my experience and our experience as a group planning and doing our first cruise. Before I do that, I have to give a shout out to Ashley over at Disney Cruisers channel on YouTube. I started watching her over a year ago, just shortly after she started posting content. She cruises all the time and has so much information and so many tips that it's worth heading over there, checking that site out, and learning some of the things that I was able to learn that made my first cruise even better than it probably would have been otherwise. So make sure you give her a thumbs up so she knows you're there, and get some information from Ashley. Today's video, I'm going to focus on the pre-cruise planning process and the things that we did leading up to embarkation day. We decided back in about January of 2019 to take a short cruise. A couple of us had never been on cruises before, so we chose a short one just in case we didn't like it and it wasn't going to last that long. Now, if you have a travel agent or you just don't want to be bothered with the hassle of booking a Disney cruise, I would go ahead and use them. And you're not going to pay any more with a travel agent than you would directly through Disney. So it's a win-win situation. But we travel to Disney World all the time, and we are very savvy at booking directly through Disney, so we chose to go directly to the website. When you get on the website, you basically choose your dates, choose the itinerary that appeals to you, and then you find the cruise that you want, and you go in and you choose the category of stateroom that you want. We chose the Deluxe Family Ocean View stateroom, primarily because it's a much bigger stateroom, and it has this large porthole at one end that is, I stand 6'3", and there were still a couple of inches above me. Just an enormous view. So we'll get into the room probably in a later video to kind of show you around, but worth it. So we just booked online, and then the tip that I would give you for this is to book as soon as possible, as early as you can. We booked in January, so we're about 6 months out from the cruise. But with Disney Cruise Lines, it's different than other cruise lines where they release the prices and they're the cheapest at the release date, and then they just slowly go up over time. And so if you wait until 2 or 3 months before the cruise, you're going to be paying the highest premium for those staterooms if they're still available. I went on the Royal Caribbean website about a week ago just to do some comparisons, and I found some last minute cruise deals on a similar itinerary that we did in the Bahamas. And it was about $299 per person, which is outstanding. That's a great price. You're just not going to find that on Disney because from what I understand, when they get to those last minute cruises, they release the discounts out to Florida residents and not necessarily out to the general public. So the best bet is to book at least a year in advance. We didn't hit that mark, but we got what we felt was a fair price, so we went ahead and booked. Another tip that I would give you on booking is you have to put down a down payment right when you go to book, and I believe it's 20% for a first-time cruiser. And we used gift cards, Disney gift cards, and whether those are given to you or you've purchased them at a discount, maybe at Sam's Club or at Target through using your Target Red card. If you have 6 gift cards, what you want to do is consolidate those into one gift card on DisneyGiftCard.com, and then use that one gift card to make a payment and hold on to it. Because what we learned is that if for some reason Disney needs to refund you money, they will do it directly to the source of payment that you used. So if you use 6 gift cards, and they needed to refund money to you, and they had to use up 2 or 3 of those gift cards to refund, and you've thrown them away, you're probably not going to have access to that money at that point. So big tip, consolidate the gift cards to make the payment. Now at the online check-in, you can go in and you check in so they know you're coming, and then you can start booking shore excursions. We went in and signed the kids up for the kids club. You can put in your specialty dining at that point, and character meet and greets on the ship. Just all sorts of activities you can put there. Make sure that you get all that done, and make sure that you download the Disney Navigator app, because it is much easier to navigate than the website, and you can do all of those things on that app. So get that done between when you book your cruise and when you're going to have your online check-in date. You're going to need that app through the entirety of your cruise, and if you don't get it downloaded onto your phone before you pull out of the port, you're not going to have wireless access to be able to get the app downloaded. So first thing, book the cruise. Second thing, get the app, and then it'll help you navigate through that much more easily. We discovered that the best idea would be to go down a day early, because what we didn't want to do is put ourselves in a situation where we're flying into MCO and getting at the airport late for whatever reason, and then not making it out to Port Canaveral before the ship sails. So plenty of people out there say go to your port the day early. So we flew into Orlando the day before. I'm a Disney Vacation Club member, so I booked us a one-night room at Disney's Old Key West Resort on Walt Disney World property, which was phenomenal. It was such a relaxing place. My home resort is the Boardwalk, and that tends to be really busy and is exciting for its own reasons. But Old Key West just turned out to be such a wonderful way to start our cruise. The rooms are enormous. We were in a 2-bedroom suite. It was fantastic, relaxing. We took a boat over that first night over to Disney Springs and ate at Maria and Enzo's, which is the new Italian restaurant at Disney Springs. And it was fancy kind of Italian. And we had a guy come over that was on stilts that stood up. We were down on the first floor, and he was like 15 feet in the air, made some balloon animals for the kids, and then took our picture from there. Super fun and relaxing. Then we got back on the boat, went back to the hotel, and then crashed for the night. So I'd highly recommend getting a hotel before you go one night before. What we've decided, because what our yearning was while we were there, is that the next time we go down, we're probably going to go down 2 or 3 days early and stay on property and maybe do a couple days at the parks, just to get some of that energy out. And we love Disney World, and just do some of that fun stuff before the cruise. And we think that'll be a much funner experience. I wouldn't do it in reverse, and I'll talk to you later about why, but I would highly recommend going to Disney World first and then going on your cruise. The other thing that we did as far as transportation is concerned is we rented a car. For those of you that travel to Walt Disney World, you'll know that there's the Magical Express, where they'll pick you up at the airport with your luggage and take you directly to your Disney World resort. And that's a free transportation to and from the airport at the beginning and the end of your trip. It is not the same for the cruise line, however. You do have to pay to get from the airport or from a Walt Disney World resort to Port Canaveral and back. And we discovered that was $70 round trip per person. Now, with 6 of us, and doing the math, it was cheaper for us to rent our van that we got for, I think, $188 after tax. We paid a little more for a child seat that we needed, but $188 sure beat the crap out of paying $70 round trip per person. We also considered Uber, but we would have had to Uber from the airport to Disney World to Port Canaveral back to the airport, and with 6 people and car seats and luggage, we would have had to have done 2 cars. So the economics of it worked out in our favor to rent the van. Plus, it just gave us an immense amount of freedom getting to the port, getting away from the port. We went around town in Orlando while we waited for our flight time and did some shopping, and then we went to the airport. So again, I think a tip would be to check the finances of renting a car, and if it's cheaper, rent that car. Even paying for it to be parked at the port for 3 nights was still cheaper than our other options. Now, if you're going by yourself or as a couple, it might be different, but as a larger group, we definitely needed that car. Back to Old Key West, we got up the next morning after and we went to eat breakfast at their quick serve, which was, we were sitting by the water watching the ferry pull in and out. They had cast members out entertaining the kids and, you know, had a Caribbean vibe to it with the music going on. And it almost felt like we'd started our cruise already, but again, can't say enough about going to Disney World property, and particularly to a resort like Old Key West, because it was removed from the parks and we really enjoyed it. So that is kind of everything in a nutshell that leads up to embarkation day once you get on the cruise. And I feel like, following tips and ideas that we got from everywhere else, that we did it the best way possible and the most seamless way possible. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope you've enjoyed this. The next video will actually be embarkation day, what it was like to get on the boat, the things that we did on the first day, and some of the things that made it so much more pleasurable than it probably needed to be. So thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.